If I was to ask you what, say, were the first or the top three things that firms should be doing, law firms particularly, for gender diversity generally, what would you say?
I would say the first thing is that none of this ever works unless there is a real commitment and push from the top. And you've got to have leadership that's not just giving it lip service, but truly understands the complexity of unconscious bias, which is the big problem. Women are perceived without, if there's no intervention, the stereotype that's been documented absolutely up one side and down the other is that women will be perceived as people who do very well taking care of things, but not very well as leaders. And the derivative stereotype that's most difficult is that women have less potential for leadership. So if you had a man and a woman who had done exactly the same job, if there's no intervention, the male will be perceived generally to have unlimited leadership potential. If he's done well in one job, he'll be perceived to do well, have the potential to do well. Whereas women tend to be seen, if they've done well, as a specialist, and that they're the perfect person for that job, but probably don't have the bandwidth to make the stretch. That's probably the single biggest driver of the glass ceiling. And you need leadership from the top that really gets that it's not, women whining. It's actually the fact. And then you have to make sure that you educate the personnel, and you also, as I did with Marina at Pillsbury, just do it. Just put women in these leadership jobs so that you have some good representation. And then I think the last, if I only had three things to do, the third would be I would take all of the women in the firm and give them special training about gender stereotyping, how it works, and what they need to do to make it not apply to them. Because some institutions are going to get this and some won't, but every woman can be trained to know how to deal with this and make themselves, wherever they are, much more effective. And many women, including myself, have found, as I've worked with these principles over time, that gender stereotyping just kind of melts away. Because, as I said, men and women carry it. So women, but it's perceived differently. Men will see the pool of talent of women as having less potential than it in fact does. Women will have inner doubts about whether they can do it. Same stereotype. So you can work with women to get them to be more sophisticated about their own thinking and conditioning and how it stops them before they start. And there's a lot of really great training programs out there now, and that's what I would do.